Why do so many guys think that getting to a lean 10 to 15% body fat in 90 days is unrealistic? Like it's only possible if you have no life, or spend 6 or more hours in the gym per week. Well, in this video, I'm breaking down and I'm ranking the best and worst methods to prove that hitting 10 to 15% body fat in 90 days is not just possible, it's predictable. And I'm backing it all up with insights from some of the biggest names in YouTube fitness. So you can get lean in 90 days without the gym bro routine. First off, Jeremy Heath is going to expose the numbers behind actually getting lean and staying lean. And today, we're ranking these methods into 2 categories. Category 1, the gym bro noise section, for the genetically elite, on PEDs, or living in the gym. Category 2, the undeniable winners, the methods that deliver fast, predictable, and consistent results for everyone. So you can cut through the BS and only apply what actually works. So Jeremy, why do so many guys believe that getting lean is out of reach?
But to get visible six-pack abs, you'll need to get down to at least 15% body fat, a level of leanness achieved by less than 2% of the average population.
That is it. No more is needed from Jeremy. This graph, it tells us everything that we need to know. It feels unrealistic because 98% of guys around us are over 15% body fat. And the average American guy is actually at 200 pounds and 30% body fat. So if you go from the average to top 2% leanness, how long does that actually take? Well, let me show you. So our average guy, he's 200 pounds at 30% body fat. But with the right nutrition and training plan, research shows he can drop 1 to 2% of his body weight per week as pure fat. So if we stay more conservative and take that middle ground of 1.5%, at this rate, our 200 pound guy at 30% body fat, he can hit 15% body fat in just 12 weeks and a shredded 10% body fat in 16 weeks. And this does not even factor in the drop in body fat percentage from building muscle, which would shave off even more time. But wait, if it only takes 12 weeks to break into that top 2% of leanness, and we all know it's just calories in, calories out, then why are 98% of guys stuck? Well, it's because they're buying into the biggest lie out there. You see, the gym bros that dominate the fitness space, they tell you getting lean means adopting this whole new fitness person identity. You've heard it. You need to want it enough. You need to shut up, show up, and grind. You need to suffer, bro. No days off mentality. And that is exactly why most guys fail. They do not want that life, and they definitely cannot stick with that long term. So instead, just treat getting lean like a side quest in your current life, and we'll get to exactly how to do that next. So hitting that 10 to 15% body fat, it's not just possible, it's predictable. Most guys can get in that top 2% of leanness in just 12 weeks. And that's why doing the opposite of the 98%, by ditching that gym bro grind and treating it like a leaning down side quest, it goes straight into the undeniable winner tier. You've heard it a million times. Slow and sustainable, that's the way to go. So why am I telling you to go fast and treat getting lean like a side quest instead? Well, Munir is here to give you the full gym bro breakdown on the slow and sustainable master plan.
So to go from 30% to 15% body fat, most people will have to lose 20% of their total body weight.
And right there, we're already stepping into that gym bro law. That idea that losing fat automatically means losing muscle. We'll debunk that BS in a minute. But first, let's allow Munir to finish first.
How long does it take to lose 20% of your body weight? Well, from research we know that you can sustainably lose between 0.5 to 1% of your body weight per week. So getting these results takes you anywhere between 20 to 40 weeks or 5 to 10 months.
5 to 10 months just to hit 15% body fat. That is not sustainable. That is a never-ending grind that forces fitness to take over your entire life. And did you notice the research they used to justify this 0.5 to 1% timeline? Look closely, they always use this study on natural bodybuilders. But natural bodybuilders diet for months on end to reach these insane levels of single-digit body fat leanness. And this is where these gym bro trainers, they always mess up. We are not bodybuilders. So this sustainable research, it does not apply to us. Because when you look at the nuance in the research on normal folk, here's what we actually see when we go faster towards that 1.5% mark. Muscle loss? None. Studies on aggressive diets as low as 800 calories per day show no muscle loss when protein intake and resistance training are both dialed in. Hunger? Actually less. Your body gets better at mobilizing and using body fat for fuel. So no more blood sugar crashes that trigger your brain to set off these panic signals and cravings. Metabolic adaptation? Less, not more. Because the faster you lose fat, the shorter your deficit lasts, which means less overall metabolic slowdown. Adherence? Way better. You see results daily. You're done way faster, and you don't have a whole 10 months of opportunities to fall off track. And the cherry on top, weight regain regain, no difference at all. A 3-year randomized control trial found no difference at all in weight regain between aggressive fat loss and slow fat loss. No one is sticking to a 10-month gym bro plan. That's nearly a year of dieting just to hit 15% body fat. So slow and sustainable? That is just gym bro noise. So we've been talking about getting into that top 2% of leanness and doing it fast. But how do we actually make that happen? Well, here's Andrew Huberman and Andy Galpin to break it down.
So I've heard about this concept of metabolic flexibility mentioned a few times. Frankly, you're the first person who's ever explained it to me in a clear and concise way.
If metabolic flexibility is about using both carbs and fats for fuel, then how does our body actually do this?
People tend to think about it as like carbohydrates versus fat. That's not, it's more like a chain, more like a bicycle, where there's a front gear and a back gear. You turn one gear, it turns the other one. These are complementary systems. They are not and/or systems.
All right, let's pause, Andy, before this turns into a PhD level physiology lecture. So the big takeaway, it is not about burning carbs or fat. It's about forcing your body to adapt so that it can use the right fuel at the right time. Because this is how you drop fat and not just weight. Plus build muscle at the same time so you end up looking like this and not like this. And step one to maximize metabolic flexibility is we need to get fat adapted, which means optimizing for two things. One, fat mobilization, actually releasing stored body fats from here. And two, fat utilization, ensuring that your body actually burns it and doesn't restore it. And the best way to do this, protein anchored carbohydrate cycling. By cycling between these lower carb and these higher carb days, we upregulate our two key fat burning enzymes, hormone sensitive lipase, which releases stored body fat, making more of this available as fuel, and CPT1, which moves fatty acids into the mitochondria for efficient fat burning. Plus, anchor your protein intake above that minimum threshold needed for maximum muscle protein synthesis. And for most guys, this number is actually higher than you think. We used to believe that 0.72 grams per pound of body weight was enough, but new data shows benefits all the way up to 1.36 grams of protein per pound of body weight. And we need to strategically cycle in higher carb days, because this preserves your metabolic rate. By keeping your testosterone and cortisol axis in balance, and strategically refilling your glycogen stores, it lowers your cumulative allostatic load, which means less total physiological stress, for better recovery and consistent fat loss. Building metabolic flexibility, it's got nowhere to go but the undeniable winner tier. But what about using carbs at the right time, like Andy said? So now we've got fat adaptation dialed in, it's time to tackle step 2 of metabolic flexibility, which means building muscle while you lean down, so your body fat percentage actually drops and not just your weight. Now, when we think of using carbs effectively to get lean, we think of things like this. But let's get real. Nick Bear is 225 pounds of lean muscle, and he's running 5 miles at a 5-minute pace. That is not how it plays out for normal guys with normal genetics. Because let's face it, fitness cannot be your entire life. And even if you do grind like that for a while, we all know what happens. A little progress and then a massive burnout. And boom, back to square one. Just ask Cam from the Goal Guys. He's a normal guy that's failed publicly more times than most people ever will. Cam has tried everything, from one extreme all the way to the other, never quite making workouts work for him, until he did this.
This man has me doing 3 sets of band-assisted pull-ups, which I am supposed to take to pretty much failure. On top of that, he has me doing 2 sets of negatives, which I don't know if you've done that many pull-ups, but those negatives, dude, are brutal.
You can see it. Cam is absolutely spent. He first pushes to failure with band-assisted pull-ups, and then when he can't do one more full rep, he moves into negatives, jumping up and then controlling that descent as much as possible. This is true maximal muscle fatigue in a short space of time. But here's the crazy part. Hardly any workout volume, and yet it still worked. Just check out Cam's transformation. And here's why. In 2024, we learned that your window for muscle group is anywhere from 4 all the way to 43 sets per muscle group per week. This means you do not need those 6 hours per week grueling gym bro routines. And you know what else? Another 2024 study confirmed that training frequency doesn't matter either. So you can train all your weekly volume in one day, or spread it across 7. So to make this a reality, we use micro workout challenges. No more unrealistic workout commitments. Just 7 15-minute science-backed workouts that you can stack however you like throughout the week. Only got 15 minutes each morning? Then just knock out a quick session first thing. Or only have 1 day to train this week? Then simply stack 7 sessions into a 1 hour 45-minute workout. The differences do not matter. The only things that matter, did you program your training to hit at least 4 sets per muscle group this week? And did you use intensity techniques to push harder than last week? That's it, do this and you'll see progress. And that's why those long grinding gym bro workout routines, they go straight into the gym bro noise tier. Pushing extreme volume in these unrealistic workout commitments, it leads to burnout, not better results for a normal guy. And now it's my turn to show you how the leaning down timeline actually plays out in reality. Because what works in week 1 will not work the same in week 12. It all comes down to 3 phases. Phase 1, rapid fat loss. Your body is hyper responsive to burning fats fast at the start, and motivation is high so we can go aggressive. So the results come fast and the mirror shows it. Phase 2, the rapid recomp. This is where the metabolic flexibility piece kicks in. But fat loss does slow slightly, because as you get leaner, your body mobilizes less fat per day. However, muscle growth accelerates as your physiology is primed for growth. So we ramp up that training stimulus. Because we want body recomposition, not just just dropping weight. Phase 3, locking in that lean physique. This is where we edge off that last few pounds of fat and we stop that rebound cycle, training your metabolic machinery to handle more food so you don't get trapped in this low-calorie purgatory just to maintain your new physique. This way you hit that lean level and you stay there effortlessly. No rebounds and no endless dieting. And this is not just some theory. It's the exact process that I use with my coaching clients. So total time to hit 10 to 15% body fat, 12 to 16 weeks. That is it. So yeah, getting lean and defined, it's not just possible, it's predictable. This is literally my job and I do this every day. And if you're watching my videos, I'd love to help you too. So if you want to know exactly how to apply what you've heard to your specific situation, then contact me using that link below and I'll reach out to you with all the details. Of course, phasing getting lean, it's got to go in the undeniable winner tier. And for more coaching tips, watch my video here.